Hey y'all, welcome back to a new video. Hi, if you're new here, hi, my name's Andy Toys, and today's video we are going to be doing a little summer Q&A life update. I thought that we could chat for a little bit, so while I get ready. So first of all, I have this Olipop. It's a really good flavor. It's the apple, and yeah. Anyway, so the topics I'm going to be touching today are personal life, personal, school, work, and etc. So, first, I want to touch on filming. So, filming is, so I want to touch on work. What I mean by work. So, YouTube is where, I haven't got monetized yet or anything, but I'm working towards monetizing myself. I'm working towards getting monetized. So I hope, so that will happen at some point. But yeah, that's that. And then currently, I'm working towards that. I'm on my way there. But yeah, it's a journey to make it to there, to the YouTube partner program where you get paid and stuff. But yeah. But that's that. And then also, yeah, next thing I do want to say, it's not hard, it's just like a little bit, it's not hard, but it's just a little bit like harder to do when doing it. Like, it's something where you have to sit down and not like think about it, but like it's hard for like things like that. Like, my journey on YouTube, it was a while ago. Like, I started I started back in November, and I didn't think, I was still gonna be on YouTube today. But yeah, I just don't know. Okay, these are all the questions I have. Next question. If you see me looking down, I'm looking down on my phone. So, next question is, do you see yourself doing YouTube forever? Well, I can't really say if I see myself doing YouTube forever. And here's why. Because I don't know when YouTube's gonna die, when YouTube's gonna die down, get banned, things like that. Because I thought TikTok was gonna get banned. But things like that, so I don't know. But it's just things that you can't predict. Like, you never know. It could die tomorrow. Like, I don't know. But as of today, yes, I see myself doing it in the future. But do I see myself doing it as a full-time job? No. Because I have other goals and other dreams that I want to achieve as well, but I still want to do YouTube and TikTok. Okay. Okay, next. This is still in the same category. Next question says, what are the filming equipment I use? So I use the Canon G7X. It's a really good camera. I love it. And yeah, you can find it at like all of your like local tech stores, like stuff like that. And I think it's just an amazing store, camera and stuff. So yeah, I use that, and then sometimes like when I'm out and about, I use my phone. But for lighting, I use a ring light, and then I use a couple tripods. I have a Sony tripod, and then I also have and then for editing, I use a MacBook Pro, and then for GoProing, I use a little GoPro. So yeah. Okay. Next question, last question in this topic is. Okay, last question in this topic is. Where do you, okay, this is actually, it's, how do you get paid on TikTok? Okay, so I'm going to touch on this. I won't touch on it long, but, I won't touch on it long, because I don't get paid on TikTok, yet. I'm not in the partner program, I'm not in the creator program, whatever, so I can't really speak on that, but what I've heard is, I'll speak on what I know and what I've heard. So what I've heard is that it can be hard. It's harder to get into than the YouTube program. because there's a lot of easier ways to get violated on TikTok. Now, do I say, have I got violated? No, but like, when I see myself, you know, it's hard to join the program, and like, you have to have a certain amount of followers, some amount of view counts, some amount of watch hours, some amount of like shares, some amount of reposts, some amount, you have to have a good bit of things, and it's hard because to get your videos reposted. And I've never had one reposted, so I can't really speak on that. But as of today, I really think, you know, it's going to happen. Okay. Okay, next one. Personal life. Okay. So, personal life, what I really do. So, how do I stay motivated? How do I have balance between personal life, school, and YouTube's and social media? So what I've always learned is that social media always has this like thing in your head where like you don't always have to believe what's on social media. Now that is like, you know, interesting, but like, yeah, you don't have to always, you know, go out and believe what you see on social media. Not everything you see on social media is real. Sometimes you just do it for the camera, and I try to be authentic as I can, but that doesn't mean I will show every glimpse of my life. Next question is, well, where do I see myself in 5 years? Well, I see myself out of school. I see myself possibly in 5 years, I see myself out of school. I see myself leaving. I see myself working for Disney, and I see myself like just working for Disney in those ways. Like in 5 years, I see myself working for I see myself finished with in 7 years. I feel like with traditional school that you have to have. I feel like that, and then possibly doing the program, the Disney College program. I see myself doing that. I see myself having a love relationship. I also see myself growing my relationship with my family and friends. I also see myself possibly still keeping my room back at home. I don't know for sure what to expect with all of that. That's just like something I don't know what to do or what to expect, because I don't know what I'm going to see myself in 5 years. Like, some of these things could change. Like, I could be, you know, held back. Things could happen, but I don't know exactly. But it's just something where I got to think about, you know, I don't know where I'll be, but yeah. Okay, next personal question. It says, oh wait, actually I didn't finish the question. Okay. So how do I balance between school, so working in school and personal? So what I try to do is I try to finish all my schoolwork. You know, I set sections in my life where I will, sometimes I have to put it down, sometimes I have to put my devices away and just be in the present moment. And that was a lot harder for me when I, you know, started social media, because I'm always browsing for ideas, you know, but I do think, like, it's hard to, you know, have that structure of what's gonna happen. There's, like, so many things that could happen, but I will never know. And I put this under my eyes and a little bit on my nose and my lips. I think, you know, I could see myself. It's hard to know where I'll see myself in 5 years because I never know. Anyway, next question. It says, do I still see myself going to college? Well, so I want to touch on this. When I finish with high school, okay, when I graduate high school, my dream, okay, I want to go to college. And so yes, if that answers your question. Yes, I want to go to college. I think it's really beneficial in life, because you never know what's going to happen in life, and it's always good to have a degree, because then you can always put that degree to use and say, oh, well, I actually, went to college. I'm able to put my degree to use. And a lot of people don't, pressure that. But, yeah. Next question. Well, okay, so what's my dream job? Well, I still want to be doing social media after high school and things like that. But I don't see myself. I see myself. My dream job actually is Disney. So my dream job. I don't know, so I still want to, my dream job is Disney Cruise Line Entertainment. And yeah, that's my dream job. My dream job is Disney Cruise Line Entertainment. I love Disney Cruise Line Entertainment. I just find it really fun, and I can travel the world and things like that. But who knows? That could change. I'm also considering, still doing Disney Entertainment, but with Disney World. But my dream is Disney Cruise Line. So yeah, I use this for my eyebrows. Okay, so next question. Two more questions in personal life. Okay, so next one is, how do I balance a healthy and maintain a healthy relationship with friends? Okay, so this is kind of hard because it's different for many people, but I'll touch on what I do. So what I've always learned is that people are going to judge you. There are always going to be people out there that are going to judge you. I know a good bit of people that are fake. I used to be friends with this big group, and if you don't know, it's fake. But I think there are ways that you can balance it. Some of which are you can go to, you can some of the signs that I've seen are when they put on a persona when they're around you. They're not their actual self when they're around you. If your friend can't be their actual self around you, then they're not true friends. Because I know I've had friends that have to put a persona to be around me, and I don't think that's a good thing. Okay. Next one. How do I have a healthy and maintain a good relationship with family? Okay, so I'm gonna touch on this. So with family you should always have a relationship with, no matter what. I think, some of the things are yes, he's gonna get into arguments. Yes, he's gonna get into those arguments, but it's not gonna hurt you to, distance yourself at some points in life, but things like that. I don't think it's gonna heartbreak you, but it's still, could. Those are things that I think that could potentially do that. I don't know if it's actually going to do, but it could. I'll never know. There are signs for it. Some of them, which could be good, Some could not. I just don't know for sure. But anyway, this is some acne product, not acne. But some of the things that I do to keep that healthy relationship is I, will hang out with them often or talk to them when I can, because I want to show that I actually care. When my family gets together on my dad's side, I always try to have that relationship. Or when my family gets together on my mom's side, I always try to have that, try to always put down the phone and actually be in the present moment. It's something that I want to get better about this year and this summer and stuff. But yeah, that's just one of the things that I don't know yet. And it's hard to decide how to do it, but I would just say put down your phone and be in the present moment, because you don't know if you'll be alive the next day. I've always thought, will I be alive tomorrow? Now, that sounds cliche, But it's the truth. Like, will I be alive tomorrow? Don't know. But, like, I could be. You never know. I could be alive tomorrow. I may not be, but there are things in life that you just don't ever know. So that's something I wanted to touch on. Okay. One more personal one. It says, how do you keep a good love relationship? Okay. I'll kind of speak on this. I don't have a lot that I could speak on, but I have a little bit. So what I say is, you know, the way to keep these relationships can be, you know, having these relationships are good, but the ways you can keep a good relationship with them, which are, you know, always good communication, always having trust in your partner in your relationship, always having trust that they're not going to cheat on you, things like that, or break up with you. If you don't have trust in them, or good communication, then break up. Like, if things like that. And if you're not hanging out with them, like, if you don't make time for them, if you're not hanging out with them, those are some things that I would consider not, you know, good. Now, here are some other tips for relationships. Always make time for each other. Like, especially, always make time for each other to hang out, talk, you know, all that stuff. Just things like that. Okay, next question. How do you maintain a long distance relationship? Okay, so how do you maintain a long distance relationship? Well, I'll touch on this. So the way you can maintain a long distance relationship, always have trust. Communication is a big one as well. And not always worrying about what the other person's, if the other person's cheating on you and things like that. Because then if you worry about that, then you think, okay, they are, then you shouldn't be in that relationship. Another one is always make time for calls, text. Like, you could text throughout the day. You could call, you know, you could make a time when you both are free to call and things like that. Like, things like that are really helpful in those relationships because you never know. Somebody could be cheating on you. But I'm not saying they are, but like, if you don't have those big key things, they could be cheating on you and nobody wants to find out that they are, or come home to that, or something like that. So they're just things like that. Okay, etc. Okay, next category is etc. So first question is, what are my summer goals this summer? Okay, so my summer goals are to swim, to like, actually hang out with, like, spend more time with family and friends, of course, and also hang out. And then the next one is read a good bit of books this summer. And then the next question is the next question is what are your goals this summer? Okay, so my goals this summer are okay, these are just goals I have this summer, okay? Well, okay, so one of them is running. A big goal of mine is to be able to run more than 2 miles by the end of this summer. Now, I hope that I can achieve it, but running's a big goal of mine this summer, and I really do think that I can have that, you know, goal. Next is leading at least more than 25 books this summer. Is that achievable? Yes. Third goal is to hang out, be more in the present moment, meaning hang out with friends and family and things like that. I actually have a fourth goal, is to say yes to life, because